Well, first of all, Minister of Public Enterprises, Pravin Gordhan, is going to be restructuring and reconstituting the Eskom board. That is the words they are using. The department issuing this statement after the minister met with the Power Utilities Board. Eskom, we all know, being plagued by rolling blackouts. It's having an impact on our lives every single day. Looking forward to this interview. SAFTU General Secretary, Mr. Zwelinzima Vavi, joining us on the show this morning. Mr. Vavi, good to have you with us. So, is it going to make any difference at all, do you think? Good morning.
No, it doesn't. There's not even a hope that a board can save Eskom from the doldrums that it finds itself in now. 15 years of load shedding, 507% of increase of its tariff price between 2007 and December 2020, and asking for 32% in addition to 16% now in debt for about 450 billion rands. And then load shedding, like as if load shedding have never ever happened before. As I said, for 15 years now, there's a structural problem. There's a fundamental crisis. And the source of that crisis is from the fact that when the executive of Eskom made a call on the presidents then in 1997 that they needed to have a infrastructure renewed, and because the infrastructure inherited from the apartheid state was running out of its time, and that government refused to heed that advice, and because we believe they had only one thing in mind, that Eskom too must be sold to the lowest bidder. And when that failed, because of the political pressure from a powerful COSATU then, they didn't go back to say, we've got to invest in this infrastructure. And like the warning have been rang in 1997, it took 10 years exactly as per the warning for us to begin to experience load shedding in South Africa. So restructuring the board that should have left in any case last year is not an answer to the crisis. That's the first point. The real answer into that crisis, we believe, is the following. One, fire the Eskom CEO, the CFO. Yes, the board must be reconstituted. But the two ministers that have been responsible politically for oversight over energy questions and state-owned enterprises, being the Minister of Public Enterprises, Pravin Gordhan, and the Minister of Energy, Zwelinzima, must both be asked to step aside. And young brains who are more innovative and who have the interest of the economy and the people of this country at heart must come in. In fact, SAFTU believes that the bus must go straight to the door of the president, who was the deputy president ahead of him being appointed as the president of the republic, and who chaired the war room, who didn't make any change whatsoever. We believe that after he have done all of this firing of the Eskom board, of the two ministers, of the CEOs and the CFO, must himself announce a decision that he will step down.
Yeah.
Look, the damage that have been caused by Eskom load shedding in particular to workers cannot even be counted. We're talking here about millions of jobs that have been lost. We're talking about millions of people who have experienced and who became the victims of crime. We're talking about the disruption of daily lives of ordinary people that severely inconvenience them and on a daily basis. But more importantly, we're talking about the destruction of small, medium, macro enterprises, most of them who are black, who have no big generators to kick on every time there's a disruption of the energy. And we talk about the economy that have been on stagnation for the past 15 years that Eskom has been going through the problem. The people who are responsible for that mess, we believe, all must do the honorable thing and vacate the seat.
And that's exactly the question, and many people are wondering how much of a difference it's going to make, even if every single person involved in this mess, Mr. Vavi, steps aside. I think you've summed up very nicely the position of SAFTU on Eskom. We wait to now see what this new board looks like, whether it'll be public submissions as well. Before I let you go, Mr. Vavi, I'm sure you knew I was going to ask you about what's happening at COSATU, more from a union side. Is this the end for the tripartite alliance? Put on your unionist hat for me for a second. Is this the end? Is it time to go their separate ways?
Look, when we were fired in COSATU, when COSATU then was so pro-Jacob Zuma and so sensitive to any kind of criticism towards its helpless government that was producing more poverty for the black people, unemployment and inequality, we said then, NUMSA said then, that this arrangement of workers in bed with a conservative neoliberal government was simply unsustainable politically. You can't continue to be in the same bed with the butchers of the working class who are ruthlessly implementing austerity, undermining collective bargaining, imposing wage freezes, and generally leading a very chaotic state and move towards what we call a failed state or even a banana republic. It's not sustainable. And what we saw over the past 2 days in the COSATU Congress was yet another statement that follows the statement made by workers on May Day to say that, but the people who are responsible for our job losses, for our stagnating wages, for the massive income inequalities that continue to grow, producing a result where our country is the highest society in the whole world with these levels of inequality. And the workers are saying that enough is enough, and I think we saw that demonstrated. I see that the chairperson of the ANC was shocked. I can't believe that he's shocked. How could you be shocked that workers are finally turning their back on you when your rule have produced 45% unemployment, 75% unemployment for the youth between 15 and 24 years, and when 53% of the black women in this country are unemployed, and 8 out of the 9 provinces have an unemployment rate of more than 40%. That's just not sustainable politically, economically. And we are not surprised at all that finally the COSATU Congress seemed to be following exactly what the NUMSA Congress said in 2013, that this alliance is simply not sustainable. You cannot be in an alliance with a pro-rich political party such as the ANC.
Mr. Vavi, I appreciate your thoughts on both of those issues this morning. A lot to say on both Eskom and what is happening with the tripartite alliance. I thank you, as always, SAFTU General Secretary Zwelinzima Vavi.